8:14 this Wednesday morning, a jury will be back to work at a federal court in Manhattan this morning in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. They sent the judge a note yesterday indicating they have reached a verdict on 4 of the 5 counts against him, but they are deadlocked on the most serious charge, racketeering, which could send Combs away for life. Joining this morning to talk more about what is going on in this case is Cambridge-based attorney and advocate Margo Lindauer. And Margo, good to see you this morning. Appreciate your time.
Nice to see you too.
Let's talk about what happened yesterday. Your reaction to the jury saying, indeed, they have a verdict on 4 of those 5 charges.
I was surprised, to be honest. I think it shows that the jury is working hard and working through each charge individually, which is exactly what they're supposed to be doing. I think the fact that they're deadlocked on the most serious charge, frankly, leans towards the prosecution, because if they are deadlocked on the most serious charge, which is the RICO charge, as you know, that means there are people on both sides not willing to budge their decision, which leads one to believe that potentially there are people who have come to a unanimous decision on the other charges.
We'll talk more about that RICO charge in a second, but this kind of mirrors what we saw, or at least we think happened in the first Karen Reed trial, where the jury was unanimous on a couple of on a couple of charges, but they were stuck on the other, and that led to a hung jury being declared. Now, in this case, if they can't get that final verdict, the last one of the 5, would that result in a hung jury here, or would those 4 charges stand on their own?
So no. The difference here is that they have already come to the judge saying that they've come to unanimous verdicts on individual charges. The challenge or the issue with the first Karen Reed trial is that the jurors weren't polled on each individual charge. So they came back to the judge various times saying that they were deadlocked, and they weren't polled on each individual charge, and they didn't know, allegedly, that they could come back. So we don't know for certain if there were unanimous jury verdicts on each individual charge, because they didn't come back until after the mistrial was declared. Now here, the jury has already come forward saying that they have unanimous verdicts on 4 of the 5 charges. So even if they are deadlocked ultimately on charge number 1, which is the RICO charge, he could be retried on that. But if it's not guilty on the 2 through 5, he can't be retried because of double jeopardy. If it is a guilty finding on 2 through 5, his attorneys can appeal. Can
he be found guilty on just one of those charges and go away?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's get back to that racketeering. You said that's something you think will take time. Do you think the jury's going to come back quickly on it? Because it is complicated. The RICO charge is a lot to go through there. And with the 4th of July, it sounds kind of crazy, but that might be motivation where they're like, look, we want to get this done before the holiday weekend, right?
Yeah, my instinct is that it's going to come back today. I mean, I'm not a fortune teller, but I think that there's a lot of motivation to get this done before the 4th of July. I think typically judges send juries back 2 times, maybe 3, but not more than that when they've shared that they are deadlocked. I think the fact that they came back so quickly, around 12 hours, with decisive unanimous verdicts on 4 of the 5, I think they will come back with a verdict on charge 1, the RICO charge. But if not, I wonder if the judge will allow them to share the verdicts on 2 through 5 before the holiday weekend.
Interesting. All right. And lastly, some of the testimony, I mean, pretty graphic. It would make you blush. How does that affect the jury when they're deliberating, knowing there was so much detail, graphic detail to go through? And in the big picture, might it have an impact on alleged victims coming forward in the future?
So let me answer the second question first. Absolutely. I think these big cases, particularly with celebrities, really pave the way and send a message. So I think there's a lot riding on this case for future survivors or future reporting. I think the details are shocking. And I think the jury could go both ways on that, frankly. I think if the defense did their job and shared that this was a lifestyle and that the victims or survivors were active participants, the jury might not see it as a crime. I think what the prosecution has tried to do is show that even if there wasn't always physical force, there was coercive force, there was threats of future ramifications that would have changed their behavior.
Well, the jury gets back at it at 9 o'clock this morning in a federal court in Manhattan. We'll keep you updated on what transpires. Attorney Margo Lindauer, we appreciate your time and expertise this morning, Margo. Thanks so much. Good to talk to you.
Thanks for the time.